2024 AMC 8, question 16. Starting from question 16, AMC 8 questions gets a lot harder, especially 21 to 25, but 16 to 20 are pretty challenging, meaning even if you know the rules, you still need to figure out the problem solving strategy. Now let's take a look. Ming enters the numbers 1 through 81 into the cells of a 9 by 9 grid in some order. She calculates the product of the numbers in each row and column. What is the least number of rows and columns that could have a product divisible by 3? So to save some time, I already draw the grid here. Now you put in 81 numbers into this grid, and you want to minimize the number of rows and columns that could have a product divisible by 3. So a few things. The first part is, how can you have a product divisible by 3? When you have a bunch of numbers timing together, what do you need to be divisible by 3? If any of the number is divisible by 3, or if any number is a multiple of 3. So any number is a multiple of 3. Why am I talking about this? Is because given that this is a very hard question, you want to simplify it as much as you can. For example, I don't really care the numbers are from 1 to 81. After I realize what this question cares about is there any number in a row or in a column divisible by 3? Well, from 1 to 81, how many numbers are divisible by 3? 27 numbers, because 81 divided by 3 is 27. So there are 27 multiple of 3's, so 3x, and 54 not multiple of 3's, so 3x. Cross it over, not multiple of 3's. Now, what you need to do is, you have 27 multiple of 3's, and if you put any of them into a row or column, that row or column will have a product divisible by 3. How do you minimize it? There's no clear equation or formula we can use. Instead, you need to play it forward, meaning you want to try to play this as a game to say, okay, how do I handle this? Let's start from, what if you only need to put one number, which is a model of 3, somewhere in the board? For example, if I put a number which is a multiple of 3, and to make it easy, I'll just write 3 here, okay? Because all of them are multiple of 3, so I'm just going to write a 3 here. Now, if you have a number, let's see, in the first row and first column, how many rows or columns are now divisible by 3? Well, this will make the first row and first column divisible by 3. All right, now where do you put the second number? So you see my strategy here. I'm trying to put in a number. If I just have 1, which is a multiple of 3, that's easy. I'm going to get one row and one column. So 2 multiplied by 3, divisible by 3. Now I want to put in another number, but remember, I want to minimize the number of rows and columns to be divisible by 3. You'll probably see if you put this number randomly anywhere, typically you will make one more row and one more column divisible by 3. However, is there any way to not increase this by 2 when you put in another 3x? You probably noticed you can put it right next to this 3. If you put it there, well, the first row is already a multiple of 3. So, doesn't change anything. Still, the first row is multiple of 3. Yes, you do get one more column, which is a multiple of 3. Now, you can probably see the same strategy. My next 3 is probably going to be where? Same thing, you want to minimize the number of rows or columns divisible by 3. So you want to reuse the rows and columns as much as possible. Well, I can put it here. Because the first column is already divisible by 3. I'm not increasing anything, but I do get one more row divisible by 3. The next one, you got to figure it out. Where would you put the fourth multiple of 3? I'll give you a hint. There is a way to put it somewhere so that you don't increase the number of rows or columns divisible by 3. Yes, you complete a square. By putting the fourth number here, it's the same number of rows and columns divisible by 3. By just playing with 4 numbers, you get a sense now, right? You want to put those multiple 3's together, try to form a square. That will minimize the number of rows or columns divisible by 3. So I will start to complete the square. 27 is a 5 square plus 2. So you can tell I'm going to say, well, I'm going to form another square and another. By putting those 25 multiple of 3's into a square right next to each other, I only have 5 rows and 5 columns, so 10 rows and columns divisible by 3. Now you have 2 more numbers. Where would you put them? Remember, now you can see wherever you put it, you will need to increase the number of rows or columns divisible by 3. Just try to minimize it. So for example, I'll put it here. Because still, I only increase this number by 1. Because I get one more column divisible by 3. Alright, where do you put the last number? There's a way to put it that doesn't increase the number of rows and columns divisible by 3. That is here. So altogether, the least number is going to be 5 rows and 6 columns equal to 11. Learning here is, firstly, try to simplify this question. Don't worry about 1 to 81. Figure out the key, that is, you need a number divisible by 3, and when that happens, this whole row or column will be divisible by 3. And the second part is, play it for a small number to find insights. We didn't use any rule, no abstract math equation or formula. Instead, you play this game, right? You try putting 1 number, 2 number, 3 number, 4 number. That's how you figured, oh, square works great. And that's where you get your insights. For questions after 16, so 16 and onwards, insights will be very important. So I will start teach you more of the problem solving strategies instead of some rules or equations. Thank you.